Afraid to move to join my DH because of my mill. My husband and I have been together for 4 years, and our relationship has been about 30% distance. I work remotely so get to spend about 9 months of the year with him, and the rest of the time at my company's headquarters, which is in another continent. Hubby bought his home over a decade ago and my mill is on the deed. Since she divorced his dad and his other siblings were married, she lived with my husband over the last 10 years. As things got serious between him and we got married in November last year. I genuinely felt for her trying to find a new home at the age of 70. Nonetheless, living with in-laws was never something that was on the table for us. When I visited the first few times, which was in 2020, she would find a place to stay, family, other siblings in and out of state. She now lives with his newly single sibling about 30 minutes away from us. Despite the fact that she's had her room and everything at his sibling's place, she refuses to take her belongings and basically had a closet in both houses until recently, when my husband nicely moved her belongings to our spare bedroom. She didn't take it nicely when she found out, as she spent the night over our place and unfortunately it was just her and I at home. Hubby and I have now decided to live together and avoid spending time apart given some recent health challenges. Although we were open to living anywhere and we were targeting jobs in another state, I just got an offer and it's my dream job. I mean really, a senior role at an international organization I've been eyeing since I got my MBA, and this job is in his current city. Living in this city where my mill and his siblings live is torture, and they have all found ways to undermine my place in his life/home by coming unannounced because they have copies of the house keys, sending food despite the fact that I've cooked, commenting on every single item I buy, cleaning the fridge, negatively commenting on our lifestyles, etc. Because this new job means a lot for my career, I am willing to take it provided that I don't live in this place I just can't feel at home. I have done the math and renting hubby's home would bring in more money than what is needed for his mortgage payment. However, I fear that recommending that we rent a new place for us to manage our home and for me to feel at home may not be welcomed by hubby. Plus I know my mill would end up having a say in it, and he's previously lectured me on how to change things around to make our place more livable. Is it a fair ask to my husband for me to put us through moving when there's a place he owns that can accommodate us? What happens if I can't get him to budge if my mill convinces him otherwise? Do I endure the suffering I've already had a glimpse of? Do I reject this once-in-a-lifetime offer in an attempt to save my marriage from what I know will be trouble? Comment. If you're starting your life as a couple that lives together full-time, you need a place to live that's welcoming to you. It's not that house. Sell the house, buy or rent something that's going to be yours and his. If the idea is not welcomed by your husband, then it's time to tell him you don't feel welcomed by him. You're grown adults. His family does not need to be wandering in and out of your house and acting like it's their house. And it is his mom's house. You're living in his mother's house, because she's on the deed as an owner. If it's going to be that big of a deal to just change the locks, you might as well just sell it and move so they don't get to freak out twice. Just get it over with, once and for all. Just because they are used to walking in and out as if they own the place, and just because she used to live there, does not mean that should continue now that his wife is living with him. They should recognize that. And if they don't, that's their problem. What you need to do is remind hubby that he married you, not his mommy. He made vows to you, not his mommy. She is extended family, you are nuclear family. And if he has a problem with that, then you have a problem with him. Is he an adult, capable of an adult relationship, or a toddler, enmeshed with his mom? Personally, I'd take the job either way. You have been made to feel unwelcome by his family. If he wants this marriage to work, then he needs to put you first as you need to put him first. You are supposed to be a team. At about time he started being a part of the two-man team. Let him know about the job offer and that you want to take it, that you will have opportunities because you will be able to buy a home together and it would actually be both of yours. He can either rent or sell his other house and use the money towards your new home. Make sure though no one has keys apart from the owners. Insurance premiums are cheaper if your home is secure. Obviously it's secure if the owners are the "oh my I was with the keys." Good luck op, I hope take your dream job and your hubby supports you. Agree with other posters that selling the current home then renting/buying another would be best. Also no extra keys given out. Relatives do not need 24/7 access to your home ever. I like the idea of the electronic lock, so if say someone pet sits for you they have their own code, no key, and that code is deleted when they are done. You said your mill is on the lease of the current house that your husband owns. If you meant she is on the property deed, then your husband may not get 100% of the net funds after the mortgage is paid off. Something to keep in mind, as it could possibly impact the amount you have for the down payment on your new home. At some point your husband needs to decide if he married you so you are the priority in his life, or if he prioritizes keeping his mom happy above your wants/needs. Next story 2. Mill has explosive reactions to our parenting decisions. For starters, I want to give some context. My husband and I have been married for 4 years. We got married after he had been in the military for 2 years and his family had always been supportive. Mill, her wife, and his dad watched us get married at the courthouse. After getting married we lived out of state from them for 2 years. Once my husband got out we moved in with his mom and have lived here for another 2 years. During that time they bought a house and finished out the basement so my husband and I could have our own space, which we are very grateful for, and always pay our rent on time. This spring my husband and I had our first baby, a boy. We know it's pretty young, but due to me having some health issues that tanked my fertility, having kids was sort of a now or never kinda thing for us. His family was very supportive and excited as our son is the first grandchild for them. My mill even hosted our baby shower along with the help of my husband's aunt. My entire family lives in a different state on the other side of the country and was not able to be around for my pregnancy, so I really appreciated their support. I have been close with my mom my whole life and wanted her present for my labor and delivery. My husband and I agreed that my mom would be the first to meet our baby. I wanted her to have that experience, BC she won't be around for as much as my mill. I went into labor a few weeks early and my mom was able to make it that evening. Mill picked her up from the airport and dropped her off at the hospital. Mill met baby the next morning. I thought all of this was fine until the night before my mom left town. My mill sends my husband a suicidal text citing the lack of time she's gotten with our son as her reason. For a lot of reasons I believe this was a ploy for attention and not a legitimate concern. My husband talks to her that evening, and during their argument, after she had already been yelling at him, my husband yelled at her that our son was only 7 days old. After this my mill shoved him against the wall outside and then he came downstairs pretty upset and we went to bed for the night. I will admit that we did not spend much time upstairs during that time, but I had just given birth. Next day, we dropped my mom off at the airport and in the afternoon we sat down with his mom and I apologized for having an attitude. During that time BTW my mill had gotten upset ABT lack of time with baby, so my husband invited her downstairs without telling me. I was upset BC I wasn't wearing anything but hospital underwear and a nursing bra and had to quickly cover up with a blanket. Fast forward 3 months, Mill has even babysat at this point. Everything was calm until a couple weeks ago. We had originally been okay with PPL posting pics of our baby, but it quickly gave me the ick when PPL started doing it without permission, so we asked that no one post. At this time my mom had made a few posts and my mill hadn't made any. A couple weeks ago she posted in the middle of the night a bunch of pics of our son, without permission. We wake up and see this post, so my husband asks his mom to take it down. She becomes irate and is yelling at him. She later sends a text in a group chat calling me nasty names, says that I'm using the baby to pull my husband away from his family and that his recently deceased dad would be disappointed in him. My husband goes upstairs and talks to her. I have the baby, so he goes alone but comes back and tells me that he told her to 1, never speak for his dad, and 2, not to talk about his wife that way. I have never addressed my mill about this. This situation was the final straw for me, and my husband and I are now looking at places to rent between here and his work, ABT an hour away. They don't know we are planning to move yet. We are trying to find a good time to bring it up. Call the police next time she threatens suicide and / or becomes violent. Also, someone of this nature should be kept away from your baby. Good for you guys for moving out. Your new little family deserves way better than this. Don't bring up that you're moving. She's only going to up the ante. Make sure you get some basic necessities into the new place, as well as securing all paperwork for you, husband, and baby before even saying the word move. A lockbox would be a good investment right now. They used renting out to you as a ploy to have control over your kid. I'm sorry she's become awful, but you need to be as calculated as possible with these people. She sounds dangerous. Especially trying to commit suicide 7 days after your baby is born. You need to get out. She needs some psychiatric care. Who knows what could happen if she's unstable. You don't want your young child to find a corpse one day and have trauma. Also, you probably want calm life without arguing with your mill. Just enjoy your baby. Moving is a great and / or necessary plan, as is keeping it a secret as long as possible. I would anticipate a lot of drama once the word gets out. Good luck finding a new, calmer home for your family close to your husband's work, and don't give Mill a key.